Have you ever looked at a woman and thought she's impossible to read? That quiet unpredictability she carries, the warmth that flashes for a second, the distance that follows right after, hits harder than you want to admit. You replay her tone, her smile, her pauses, trying to decode something she refuses to reveal, and the more you analyze it, the less sense it makes. But there's one truth most men overlook, especially men our age. A woman rarely exposes real desire in ways you can see. She hides it inside contradiction. She reveals it in the tiny fractures of her calm. Not through confession, but through tension. Not through words, but through the shifts she can't control. Because when she's truly drawn to you, drawn in a way that unsettles her, her emotions start leaking through the smallest cracks. The way her breath changes when you enter the room, the way her rhythm stumbles for half a second, the way her voice betrays a softness she tries to bury. This isn't random. This isn't coincidence. This is the beginning of the unraveling, a feeling she's fighting harder than you realize. Attraction in women doesn't start with clarity, it starts with disruption. And the signs you should be watching for are the ones happening beneath the surface, in the subtle shifts she prays you won't notice, yet hopes you will. So before we dive into the first hidden sign, take a moment as a man. Drop a 1 if you still react to her chaos, or a 2 if you're ready to become the calm she can't resist. And if you resonate with the way we decode female psychology through Stoic strength, like this video and subscribe to Stoic Station to join the men choosing presence over panic and depth over confusion. Start this journey now, because the moment you learn to read what she doesn't say, you'll finally understand why her calm is the first thing that breaks when she falls for you. 1. When her calm breaks into chaos. Before a woman ever admits she feels something for you, her emotions will speak long before her words ever dare to. That beautiful calm you once saw in her, the steady tone, the collected presence, the predictable ease, begins to crack. Not dramatically, but subtly, like pressure building beneath the surface. And brother, this is the sign men in their 30s and 40s overlook the most. You notice her mood shifting too quickly, her reactions sharper than before, her laughter louder, her silence heavier. You start to wonder, did I do something wrong? But the truth is simpler and far more revealing. You didn't do anything. Her nervous system did. Most men misread emotional turbulence as withdrawal or disinterest. You see her go from warm to distant, from playful to defensive, sometimes in the same conversation, and you assume attraction is fading. Yet what's actually happening is the complete opposite. When a woman sees you as just a friend, her emotional frequency stays flat, steady, predictable, safe. She has no reason to rise or fall, but the moment she begins feeling something deeper than she planned, the moment you shift from being someone she knows to someone who matters, her balance breaks. Suddenly she laughs too loudly at things that aren't that funny. She gets irritated over the smallest details. Her voice changes tone without warning. 1 second, her eyes hold yours like she's searching for something, and the next she looks away as if the connection is too intense to manage. This isn't logic, it's biology. Inside her, a quiet battle begins. Her mind tells her to stay composed, stay polite, stay in control. But her desire whispers a different truth. You matter, and that terrifies her. The conflict between her reasoning and her instinct creates emotional chaos. Quick shifts, nervous laughter, unexplained irritation, strange distance followed by sudden closeness. And the more she tries to hide this internal storm, the more visible it becomes. You're not imagining it. You've stepped onto her emotional radar, and her nervous system knows it before she consciously does. This is where many good men unintentionally sabotage the connection. When they see her mood shift, they chase her calm. When she grows distant, they overanalyze every detail. When she becomes reactive, they try to fix her emotions. But the moment you try to stabilize what she's feeling, you unknowingly make her feel unsafe. Because a man who mirrors her chaos or tries to control it becomes just another man she can't trust emotionally. Attraction doesn't die because she's emotional. It dies because you become emotional in response. A Stoic man must remember a single principle: emotion is information, not instruction. Her chaos is not a problem to solve, it is a signal to understand. Her volatility doesn't mean she's losing interest, it means she's overwhelmed by it. Your role is not to stabilize her feelings, your role is to stabilize your presence. This is where a grounded man separates himself from ordinary men. When her tone shifts suddenly, you don't raise yours. When she becomes irritated, you don't get defensive. When she grows quiet or unsure, you don't rush to fill the space. You hold composure. You let your energy stay slow. You stay steady, not as a tactic, but as truth. Instead of asking, "Why is she acting weird?" you start thinking, her reactions are revealing something she's not ready to say out loud. That single shift in mindset turns emotional chaos into emotional clarity. Because here's the deeper truth. Women don't fall for men who chase their calm. They fall for men whose calm becomes the thing they instinctively move toward. Every time she tests you with a quick shift, every time she reacts more strongly than the situation deserves, every time she tries to pull away only to come closer again, she's not running from you. She's searching for the man who won't run with her emotions. When her calm breaks, don't panic. Don't rush. Don't question yourself. Stand firm. Breathe slower. Speak slower. Be the rock the waves crash against without ever shaking its foundation. Because the storm forming inside her is not a warning sign, it's an opening, the first hidden sign she's falling for you harder than she intended. Her mind is losing control of a feeling she didn't prepare for, and her emotions are exposing the truth she's not ready to confess. And if you stay steady long enough, something powerful happens. Her storm begins to settle around your center. She realizes you're not like the men who react, collapse, or retreat. You become the safe presence her nervous system anchors to without permission. That's the moment attraction deepens into something more dangerous for her, something real. But understand this clearly. The chaos you're seeing is only the beginning, because once she feels pulled into your presence, once she senses that her emotions can't shake your center, another hidden sign begins to appear, one she can't control even if she tries, and that next sign reveals far more than words ever could. 2. When your stillness becomes her anchor. The strongest sign a woman is truly falling for you isn't revealed in her compliments or her warmth. It's in the way she slowly relaxes around your stillness, even when she's fighting herself. Before she ever admits she feels something, her body begins to behave differently around you. Her shoulders soften, her breathing steadies, her voice lowers without her noticing. And this shift doesn't happen because you impressed her. It happens because something in you makes her nervous system exhale. Men over 35 often misunderstand this dynamic. They believe they need to do more, talk more, show more, or explain themselves to secure her interest. They think attraction is built through effort and demonstration. But women don't fall for men who chase validation. They fall for men who hold their frame. They fall for men whose presence speaks louder than their words ever could. When she starts developing feelings, her internal world becomes unstable. She goes from certainty to confusion, from control to vulnerability. That instability isn't a sign she's pulling away. It's a sign she's being pulled in. And when your energy remains quiet, grounded and controlled, her emotions begin to settle around your center. She starts to feel safe in a way she rarely experiences. Not safe because you tell her she's safe, but safe because you are safe. But here's the paradox that catches many men off guard. She will often challenge you more during this phase. Not because she's testing you intentionally, and not because she wants drama, but because she wants to know she can lean emotionally without you collapsing with her. So she may become moody or distant or teasing in ways that feel sharper than before. She might give you mixed signals, warm one day and cold the next. It's not because she's confused about you, it's because she's afraid of the strength she feels when she's near you. Your stillness draws her in, but she wants to know it's real before she lets herself fall. This is where most men react in the worst possible way. They defend themselves, they explain, they argue, they take it personally. And the moment you react emotionally, you stop being the anchor and become part of the storm. You go from being the one steady point she orbits to being another source of instability, and without realizing it, you undo the very attraction she was building toward you. A stoic man moves differently. He doesn't match her chaos. He holds space for it. He understands her emotional swings are not an attack on him, but a search for safety. His calmness regulates hers. Instead of speeding up when she escalates, he slows his breathing. Instead of raising his tone when she's upset, he speaks with intention, not impulse. Instead of fidgeting or showing insecurity, he stays rooted in his body, shoulders relaxed, chin steady, presence unwavering. His stability tells her nervous system a simple truth: you're safe here. And women fall in love with where they feel safe. When your presence becomes the place her heart settles, even in silence, that's the moment she stops being interested and starts becoming emotionally invested. She may not say it out loud, she may not even fully understand it yet, but something in her shifts. She opens without trying. She softens without effort. Her guard lowers not because you pushed it down, but because she feels held by the steadiness you embody. And here's what most men don't realize. The deeper she feels this safety, the more her body will reveal truths her words won't. You'll see it in the way she looks at you longer than necessary, the way she angles her body toward yours, the way she mirrors your pace, your tone, your rhythm without thinking. These aren't behaviors she chooses. They're instincts she follows. Because once a woman feels safe with your presence, once your stillness becomes her anchor, her body begins to confess everything she's still afraid to say. 3. When she mirrors what her words can't say. A woman may hide her feelings in every conversation, but her body will always betray the truth long before her voice does. It speaks a language older than logic, older than fear, older than strategy, and that language is mirroring. This is the hidden signal most men miss because they're too focused on the loud signs, long messages, obvious flirtation, direct compliments, clear interest. But a woman's real feelings rarely show up in what is loud. They show up in what is quiet, subtle, and unconscious. When she's truly crazy about you, her body begins syncing with yours in ways she isn't even aware of. You lean back, and seconds later she leans back too. You slow your gestures, and suddenly she moves with the same rhythm. You lower your voice, and without thinking, her voice softens to match it. You pause between sentences, and she follows your pauses like you're sharing the same breath. These are not coincidences. This is neural synchronization, her subconscious aligning with your presence because it feels drawn toward your energy. But here's where the challenge comes in, a challenge many men stumble over without realizing it. The moment you notice her mirroring and try to exploit it, try to engineer it, highlight it, or use it to prove she likes you, the entire energy breaks. What once felt natural becomes uncomfortable. What once felt unconscious becomes exposed. She senses manipulation instead of connection, and attraction collapses the moment she feels you are performing instead of being. This is where men between 35 and 44 struggle the most. You've lived long enough to crave certainty, clarity, and direct signals. You want to know where you stand. You want to understand her intentions. So you analyze every shift, every glance, every breath. But overthinking drains the magic out of moments that were never meant to be analyzed. They were meant to be felt. When you scrutinize her mirroring, you step out of presence and into fear. And that fear suffocates the natural dynamic her body was trying to build with you. To move through this with strength, you must stay observant yet detached. You recognize the signs without clinging to them. You stay grounded so her energy naturally settles around yours. You maintain your emotional pace, not rushing, not forcing, not pressuring, and she adjusts to you the way water adjusts to the shape of a container. Your job is not to manipulate the mirror. Your job is to become the reflection worth following. When you embody this level of calm leadership, something subtle yet powerful unfolds. Her breathing subconsciously aligns with yours. Her posture mirrors your steadiness. Her gestures sync with your timing. Her entire nervous system begins responding to your presence as if it finally found something stable enough to rest against. She isn't doing it because she's consciously trying to impress you. She's doing it because her instincts trust you more than her words are ready to admit. And make no mistake, this isn't casual interest. This isn't friendliness. This isn't curiosity. When a woman begins mirroring your energy so closely, so consistently, and so unconsciously, you're witnessing desire in its purest form. A desire rooted not in excitement, but in safety and emotional resonance. She mirrors only the men she respects. She syncs only with the men she unconsciously trusts. But this synchronization, this quiet harmony between your energy and hers, is only the beginning. Because once her body starts aligning with yours, once she feels connected in a way she can't explain logically, another instinct awakens inside her, one even more revealing than mirroring. Her subconscious begins searching for confirmation that your strength is real, not just performance. And that's when the testing begins. 4. When her tests reveal what she's afraid to admit. A woman doesn't test you to push you away. She tests you to see if she can allow herself to fall deeper. This is the part most men misunderstand. They see her sudden mood shift, her brief coldness, her teasing challenge, or her pause before replying, and they assume she's being difficult or manipulative. But that misunderstanding ruins everything, because a woman's tests are not weapons. They're signals of fear. They're her subconscious way of asking a simple but life-defining question: is this man safe for my heart? When she's crazy about you, she experiences a fear she rarely admits. Fear of losing herself, fear of choosing the wrong man, fear of trusting too quickly, too deeply, or too blindly. A woman who feels nothing for you has no reason to test you. A woman who is truly drawn to you can't help but test you, because attraction makes her vulnerable, and vulnerability demands evidence. Her psychology begins to search for emotional proof. Is this man's strength consistent, or is it temporary? Can I lean into him without watching him fall apart? Her tests arrive quietly, almost invisibly. She delays her reply just a little longer to see if your patience crumbles. She asks a question designed to poke your ego and watches whether you defend or stay grounded. She becomes slightly colder than usual, not to punish you, but to see if your warmth depends on her mood. She brings up a topic that challenges your stability, just to observe whether you lose your center. She pays attention to how you respond to discomfort, your tone, your pacing, your breathing, the way you hold yourself under pressure. She's not asking for a perfect response. She's asking for a grounded one. She's checking if your presence remains intact when the emotional weather changes. And this is where most men fall apart. Instead of responding slowly, they react instantly. Instead of staying centered, they defend themselves. Instead of holding their frame, they explain themselves endlessly. They chase when she pulls back. They apologize for emotions she projected onto them. They try to fix what was never broken. And the moment she sees your emotions override your presence, her trust retreats. Not dramatically, not loudly, but silently and deeply. Because if a man's stability is shaken by mild uncertainty, how will he handle real storms? A Stoic man sees her tests entirely differently. He recognizes them not as challenges to his worth, but as invitations to show his consistency. He understands that a woman only tests the man she hopes to trust. So he responds slowly, not instantly, allowing his nervous system to settle before speaking. When her tone spikes or her mood shifts, he keeps his voice calm and even, knowing her nervous system mirrors the steadiness of his. He holds his frame silently, no over-explaining, no scrambling, no emotional negotiating. He stays warm but grounded, firm but not rigid, calm but not cold. He understands that masculine steadiness doesn't overpower feminine emotion. It gives it room to breathe. And slowly, her fear begins to fade. Because when she sees that her emotional waves cannot shake your inner mountain, something rare unfolds inside her. She feels a safety she may have never felt before, a safety deeper than attraction, deeper than excitement, deeper than chemistry. It is the safety that allows a woman to let her guard down without feeling weak. This is the moment where attraction transforms into devotion. Not devotion built on dependency or need, but devotion built on respect and emotional certainty. What most men don't realize is that the moment she sees you remain steady under her tests, she begins to shift in ways she doesn't fully understand. Her resistance softens, her tone becomes gentler. Her guard lowers without her permission. She stops looking for flaws and starts looking for ways to get closer. Because a woman only relaxes into the man she trusts, and she only trusts the man who proves he won't lose himself in the storm of her emotions. And when that moment comes, when she begins to trust your strength more than her own fear, her entire way of loving changes. She no longer needs to test. She begins to reveal instead. She begins to give in ways that are quiet but unmistakable. She begins to show devotion not through words but through presence, through softness, through small acts of loyalty that only a man who is truly paying attention will recognize. Because devotion doesn't scream, it whispers. It appears not in grand gestures, but in subtle choices, gentle shifts, and hidden behaviors only the aware man can see. And once you understand those signals, you'll never misread a woman's heart again. 5. When her devotion turns silent and unmistakable. The loudest sign she's crazy about you is the softest one, the way she protects your peace without saying a word. You won't hear it in declarations, and you won't see it in dramatic gestures. Instead, it shows up quietly, through the subtle ways she adjusts herself to preserve the calm she feels in your presence. And yet, this is the sign most men miss, because they expect love to appear in the grand, cinematic ways they've been taught to look for. But women express deep affection differently, especially mature women who have lived enough life to collect emotional scars, who have learned the cost of giving too much too soon. When a woman chooses you, truly chooses you, her devotion becomes disciplined. She begins to remember the tiny details you didn't expect her to recall. She adjusts her tone to match the steadiness of your energy. She protects your rest, your routine, your mental space without you ever having to ask. She shows up consistently, even on days when her ego tells her to pull back. She respects your space, not because she's afraid of losing you, but because she honors the world you're building for yourself. None of this is neediness, it's emotional maturity. It's the refined version of feminine loyalty that only appears when she feels safe, grounded, and emotionally seen. But here's where the real conflict lies. She will not announce this devotion. She hides it because it makes her vulnerable. She doesn't want to lose ground. She doesn't want to seem too invested, too attached, or too eager. So her loyalty becomes subtle, almost invisible to the untrained eye. It shows up in quiet decisions, softened reactions, intentional patience, and the gentle restraint she practices around you. If you're not paying attention, you might never notice what she is offering. She's not going to say, "I'm devoted to you." She wants you to feel it. She wants your awareness to rise to meet her effort. And this is where many men unintentionally wound the woman who loves them. If you ignore these signs, if you treat her softness casually, if you violate the space she's carefully trying to hold between you, she will retreat. Not loudly, not dramatically, but permanently. Because nothing cuts deeper for a woman than offering devotion to a man who doesn't recognize it, or worse, one who mishandles it. When she gives quietly and you overlook it, she feels foolish. When she supports you silently and you respond with inattentiveness, she feels unseen. When she simplifies her world to make room for you and you complicate hers with inconsistency, she feels unsafe. And an unsafe woman closes her heart long before she walks away. A stoic man must see what others overlook. He notices the quiet things, the way she lowers her voice around him, the way she makes his comfort a priority even in small ways, the way she gently aligns her schedule to create space for connection, the way she simplifies her life so she can keep a door open for him, the way she protects his name in rooms he will never enter. He sees the devotion she gives without asking for recognition, and rather than taking it for granted, he honors it through presence, steadiness, and gratitude. To honor this kind of devotion, a man does not mirror intensity. He mirrors integrity. He stays calm, not controlling, grounded, not demanding. His peace becomes her permission to remain soft. He doesn't perform appreciation with big gestures he can't maintain. Instead, he chooses to be consistent. He shows his appreciation through stable actions, steady behavior, and a presence that tells her she made the right choice by opening her heart. A woman offering quiet devotion doesn't want fireworks. She wants to feel that she is safe in your world. She wants to feel that she's giving love to a man who won't lose himself or her when life becomes challenging. And when her devotion becomes silent, steady, and disciplined, you are no longer dealing with attraction. Attraction is loud, it's messy, it's chaotic, it burns quickly and fades easily. But this kind of devotion is emotional commitment. It is earned through consistency, strengthened through trust, and expressed through the smallest details that only a present man can notice. She offers this level of devotion only to the man whose presence she trusts with her heart, the man she sees as stable enough to protect her softness, the man she believes won't weaponize her vulnerability. When a woman reaches this point, you don't need to question her intentions. You don't need to test her loyalty. You don't need to interrogate her motives. Her actions will speak louder than her words ever could. And if you learn how to read those actions, you will understand the full truth of her heart. And now, with all 5 signs revealed, you understand the hidden signals a woman gives when she's crazy about you, not through words, but through energy, behavior, and emotional surrender. The question now shifts back to you. Are you the man who can hold this kind of devotion without breaking it? Brother, if these signs resonate with you, don't rush, don't chase. Don't drown yourself in overthinking. Stand in your presence. Hold your frame. Lead with calm. Because the right woman never falls for the loudest man in the room. She falls for the man whose silence feels like home. And if you want more videos that reveal female psychology through the lens of Stoic strength and emotional mastery, then subscribe to Stoic Station and join the brotherhood of men choosing peace over chaos, discipline over impulse, and wisdom over noise. Your next chapter doesn't begin when she chooses you. It begins the moment your stillness does.